Hey guys, what's good, and welcome to the review of Altered Carbon Season 2. So, what is Altered Carbon? Altered Carbon is set 300 years into the future. Now, human beings have learned to postpone the inevitable, which is death. We've created a technology that lets us pass our consciousness from one body to another. How does this work? It works using technology called stacks. So a stack is basically a USB chip put into your spinal cord, and whichever spinal cord you insert that USB chip into, your consciousness takes control over the body. So there's a stack, which is the USB. I'm just calling it USB for the sake of this. So there's a stack, which is your USB, and then there's the sleeve, which is the physical body. Are you following me? The story follows the last envoy, a guy named Takeshi Kovacs. In the second season, he's brought into the future to solve a crime and to find the love of his life, Chris Falconer. So we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to give you my rating before I actually drop my review. And my rating is simple, 7 over 10. If it was jollof rice, it's going to be 3 plates of jollof rice out of 5. Season 1 was better. The reason why Season 1 beat Season 2 is simply the lack of world building. You were just thrown into this new planet with all this political tension, with all these new characters, but then they didn't take the adequate time to build the world that you were in. You remember the episode where we talked about effective storytelling in cinema? You have to build your world to get your audience invested in it. We were robbed of that in this season, and it hurt because that was something that the first season did really well, world building. Now, because the world wasn't properly built, the entire season was sloppily paced. Things didn't move the way they were supposed to, because before you could adequately get invested in a situation or a character, you were instantly thrust into the next big event, the next big set piece, the next big fight. And that sucked, because if this show just built its world a little bit better, the pacing wouldn't have felt as rushed and the story would have come together a lot more nicely. So how does this show do in the stakes department? So I'm going to say this right off the bat. The premise of Altered Carbon is wonderful. Human beings can download themselves into any bodies they want and live long, fruitful, meaningless lives. Wonderful story. Another problem with the second season stems from the plot, which is that if people can't die, then what risk can you take with them? In shows, you typically get invested in characters or events when there is the possibility that you can lose the characters that you're invested in. But in Altered Carbon, that's not the case. People don't die, people just come back. Oh, I just beat him up in this place and I shot him in the head. Okay, we're just going to download him into another sleeve. And it robs the show of any meaningful effect that its actions could have on you. And it sucked. I didn't feel it that much in the first season, but I felt it a lot more this time. Now, character development. Anthony Mackie was excellent. I was excited to hear that he was going to take the role of Takeshi Kovacs in the second season. For those who don't know, Anthony Mackie is Falcon in the Marvel movies. Now, everything he did well. But remember what I said about the premise of the story robbing you of any real effect. The storytelling of the show took away whatever effect Anthony Mackie's presence would have on the show, simply just because it was so choppily paced and because the world wasn't built well enough for you to get invested in it. They were throwing so many terms and so many things around. Like, what is an elder? I had to freaking pause the show, go on Wikipedia, search for what an elder is in the Altered Carbon universe, then come back, and then it began to make sense. They just throw the stuff at you and without any investment in actually trying to tell the story, and it sucked. I didn't like that. It robbed me of the experience I would have gotten from the show. And then lastly, we get to pacing. Pacing of this show wasn't too great, simply because everything felt like they were trying to rush you to the next set piece. Okay, let's end this here so we can go and fight these guys in the warehouse. Okay, we're not fighting these guys in the warehouse. Why don't we go fight these guys in the tower? Why don't we... If a bit more time was taken to just invest in the characters which they were throwing at us so casually, the show would have moved forward a lot better. And that sucks. So yeah, without any further ado, Altered Carbon Season 2 gets a 3.5 plates of jollof for me, 7 over 10. I would have personally rated the first season 8.5, maybe, no, not a 9, 8.5. That's my review. You should check it out. It's on Netflix, especially now that we're in lockdown. Enjoy. So yeah guys, before we even move forward, like, share, comment, subscribe. The buttons are all here. Hit them and support the channel. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy.